How should people restore order and civilization after the apocalypse? After saying goodbye to their families, Heather and Rafe set out on a journey to find other survivors. However, after exploring one town after another, they don't encounter a single living person. Just as they're about to give up, they suddenly see numbers and arrows spray painted on a wall. Although they don't know what it means, they follow the guidance. Along the way, Heather excitedly discovers a Pacific yew tree, said to have high medicinal value and capable of treating various diseases. Heather immediately goes to the tent to find tools, intending to take the plant with them. Suddenly, a disheveled man holds a knife to Rafe's throat, demanding they hand over all their food. Rafe struggles to resist, but is stabbed by the man. Seeing her boyfriend lying in a pool of blood, Heather is enraged. In this world without hospitals and medical care, Rafe, having lost too much blood, can only face death. Heather sorrowfully buries him by the sea and then sets out on her journey home. Her car runs out of fuel along the way, and she ultimately walks back to the survivor community on foot. What was planned as a 6-month journey ends up taking 6 years. However, the survivor community is now facing a crisis. The virus that triggered the apocalypse 20 years ago has reappeared, and many people are infected. To save his younger son Joey, Ish risks venturing into unexplored areas to retrieve some medicine, but it has little effect. The yew tree Heather brings back offers hope, as Molly uses it to make medicine that cures many patients. However, Joey's symptoms still don't improve. As his temperature continues to rise, Ish desperately puts him in a bathtub filled with cold water. At this point, Ish can do nothing but pray. Upon learning of Rafe's death, Corey asks Heather about the killer's appearance. Heather recalls that the man was disheveled and his face unclear, but she remembers he had a golden tattoo on his arm. Corey realizes the killer is Silas, whom Ish had driven away. What a twist of fate. Joey's condition ultimately doesn't improve, and he passes away under his parents' sorrowful gaze. Everyone holds a funeral for those who died in this epidemic. Ish hysterically rushes out of the community, frantically erasing the guiding slogans on the walls, blaming outsiders for bringing the virus. The library was once the place he and Joey visited most often. He had placed all his hopes for reviving human civilization on Joey. As Ish prepares to burn all the books, Emma stops him. She persuades him not to dwell on the past.
It was gone, way before Joey. You wanted him to reignite the old world, but no one can do that. We have other living children. Our friends have children.
Ish understands his wife is right. He's been fixated not only on his son's death, but also on the shattered hope of reviving civilization. But he's overlooked that the civilization he longs for is old. Now people should integrate into the current natural environment to create a new civilization. The Earth is constantly growing and evolving, and humans should keep pace with it. Ish no longer lectures the children about the past, which, although prosperous, was also accompanied by pollution and war. Now they have blue skies, clean air and water, and healthy food. Why obsess over the old world?
You don't need me as a teacher. Out there, that's your greatest teacher. If we can live in harmony with this earth, then maybe it will teach us how to live in harmony with each other.
A year later, while sorting through Joey's belongings, Ish discovers a notebook. He learns that Joey had been researching radio communication and had drawn blueprints for making a radio station. Joey believed that humans weren't meant to live alone. He hoped to find more survivors to rebuild humanity's home together. Ish is overwhelmed with emotions, realizing Joey's vision and foresight had long surpassed his own. He immediately gathers everyone and begins building the radio station that represents hope. Following Joey's blueprints, everyone is excited, having been confined to this small piece of land for too long, yearning to hear voices from the outside world. After setting up the antenna, Ish starts trying each frequency one by one.
CQ, CQ, CQ.
This is San Lupo, do you read me? CQ, this is San Lupo, is anyone out there?
His voice is broadcast worldwide through the radio, but there's no response. Ish doesn't get discouraged. He keeps recording and trying the next frequency. Seeing him neglecting sleep and food, Emma invites him to play baseball. Their extended family has unknowingly prospered to the point where they can hold a baseball game. Everyone's face is beaming with relaxed, happy smiles. This stress-free, carefree life is something Ish couldn't have imagined before the apocalypse. Heather is puzzled by the many numerical statistics in this game. Suddenly, she remembers a string of numbers.
147225.
What's that?
Numbers is something Rafe and I saw out there. And we saw it everywhere. We followed it for months, but didn't know what it meant.
Ish's eyes light up, and he quickly runs back to the house, eagerly tuning the radio to frequency 147.225. Ish calls out several times but receives no response. The air seems to freeze, and everyone falls into an anxious wait.
This is 147225. You found us.
The voice from the radio sounds like heavenly music, and everyone is excited. The woman on the radio says they have 77 survivors settled in a park by the sea, less than 100 miles from Ish's location. When she asks if Ish and his group would like to meet with them, everyone suddenly falls silent. The psychological shadow left by Charlie still exists, and contact with strange groups is a difficult decision for them. The woman on the radio understands the meaning of their silence. She says that when they first started using the radio to contact the outside world, many people were worried and opposed, but they ultimately persisted.
Why did you?
Something kept telling us. We had to.
We have to. We have to.
Yes.
For humanity to continue and revive, they must unite and help each other, as has been the case throughout history. Even if there are risks, only by trying is there a possibility. 50 years after the virus outbreak, Ish is now an elderly man. He passes the hammer, symbolizing leadership, to his grandson, along with the task of continuing and reviving humanity to the next generation.
Men go and come, but the earth abides.